I'm just kidding. Yo, Karla Fretta. My name is Arnaldur, and today I'm gonna show you guys 5 tips to get those watches to Alright, so before we jump into Lightroom, I just want to nail this in your heads. The most important thing to do when working with watches, when you're doing watch photography, is get that watch clean. Take out your cloth and clean that shit. That's the most important thing. You need to have it clean. Now, if you're working outside in an uncontrolled environment, like I was doing yesterday with these photos, sometimes, you can get some dust and other particles on the watch. That's okay. We can fix that in post, and I'll show you how. So here, you can see that we zoom in. There are some particles here. Although I cleaned that. I was with my cloth. Clean. Still, sometimes dust comes on the watch. So all you need to do now is go here in spot removal tool, have it toggled on heal, and then you just find those places and you just toggle and let Lightroom do its magic. And now this takes a little time. You just go and find them all. All right, so you get the idea. And this is pretty easy to do if you have a watch that has, the background is very similar. So here we're working with black, so Lightroom is easily going to find another black spot and put it over. If you are working with a watch that is super complex, well, then you just got to keep that clean. Also, if you want a more in-depth video about the spot removal tool, I'll link it up here, that I cover everything the spot removal tool does. So the next thing I always keep in mind, and I recommend that you keep in mind too, is defringing. So fringing is the failure of a lens to focus all of its color on the same spot. And this manifests itself as fringes of colors along the boundaries that separate the dark part and the bright part of the image. And here you can see a perfect example of this. On this watch, you can see that this here should be white, but along the boundaries, the borders here, you can see blue fringes, and you can also see the little bit of purple and a little bit of red and even some greens here. Here you can see the greens. Now, luckily for us, this is easily fixed in Lightroom by defringing. I'll show you how. So, look, we scroll down here to lens correction, and usually this is in the profile, and all you have to do is click a manual. Okay, now when we zoom in here, you can defringe this. Now first you need to recognize what kind of color of this. So this here is in the purple and blue spectrum, so we start by taking it down. But because this is not 100% purple, you need to mess with the hue too. So we can take it like this in the beginning, and then we start to mess around with the hue, and you see that this is now starting to disappear. All right, and here in the purple we can take, and now you see how this starts to disappear here. Looks pretty cool. Okay, now one thing that I want you to keep in mind is that if you desaturate all the way, what you often get is a little bit of like an aura of no color. It's like a desaturated aura. So I would go just and find the place that looks most natural without getting all that color. So here we have all the color, and right around here is good, I think. Okay, and now we can take the other color, the green, and I like often to take it all the way down to see what hue we need to do, and we just playing around like so, and even, let me see, yeah, like up here. And now let's see how much we need to take the saturation. I would say this looks cool, and look, now it's gone. Whoo! So this is super easy. You just defringe, and then you just check what color you need to fix. Slide the slider. It's Lightroom, baby. All right, so tip number 3 is the brush. Brushing the edges to make that watch pop. Pop. So you click here, up here, you see the brush tool. You click it, and now you get this here. Now you can zoom a little bit in. Maybe this is way too much. We can zoom right around here is cool. And if you hold in shift, you get this little hand, and it allows you to drag the image where you want to go. So we start to brush, and if you press O in your keyboard, you can see what you are brushing. And I would even like to have a little bit more feather. And now basically you just brush the edges, okay? This takes a little while. Now, if you accidentally go, outside of what you're trying to brush, let's say it looks like this, all you have to do now is hold in shift, and you can easily erase it. All right, and we keep going. Whew, finished. So now that we have brushed this, I decided not to brush this part here because I don't want that to pop. I like it that it is out of focus and a lot of nice bokeh here. So what I do here is just subtle changes. So I would like to put the clarity up like this. No, I'm kidding. Just subtle changes like this. I like, because this is metal, I would like to take the sharpness up pretty much. I also like to up the contrast like so. Nah, kidding again. Just a slight. And I would like to have the saturation this way more. So the idea here is just not to go overboard. Just make it pop a little bit, okay? But again, you do whatever you like to do, okay? So the fourth thing I do is also with the brush tool, but now I brush the middle part of the clock to make, you know, that pop. So let's go here on the watch that we have. And I've already done this here. But look, so here I've already painted the middle. And again, you just paint the middle. And then what I like to do, I like to take down the highlights just a little bit. Not too much, but I like to take it like right around here. I also like often to mess with the dehaze. So if you take the dehaze up, you'll see this gets super dark, but that's too much. But just a tiny bit is going to darken the image a little bit. Then I like to mess with the clarity and also like to take down the darkness. Not too much. Just a little bit to make it pop. And sometimes I like to mess with the whites too to compensate for the highlight. Okay, so I just wanted to emphasize on the fact that the adjustments that you make after you brushed is completely up to you. It depends on what style and what look you're going for. The important message I wanted to get out there was basically that I brush the metal, or you know, this little thingy here, and I brush the middle. That's it, and then I make adjustment to make it, you know, a little bit pop. Back to the video. So the last thing that I usually do is using a radial filter instead of just doing vignettes. If I want that, I use a radial filter to just click around the clock. So look, we have radial filter here, click it, and now you can paint over this. And if you press O, you can see where is this affecting. We would like it like this. I would say like this looks pretty good. And maybe making a little bit bigger, but increasing the feather like this looks good. Okay, press O again. And now you just have to decide if you want, you know, to make dark vignette like this. This is too much, but if you want it to be like this, or if you want to make bright vignette. And you can see, like, the choice is yours. I think bright vignette looks cool too. And you see on this photo right here, I decided to go for a bright vignette because I wanted, like, this is a women's watch company, and I want it to be bright and be like a little bit of, oh, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is just like a creative expression. I would say for here, we might go for a little bit of dark. And what this does, it guides our eyes to the watch, like to the point of interest in the photo. And in this case, it is the watch. And it's easy to do with this. And I recommend to do it with a radial filter instead of vignette, because in vignette, you're just doing exactly the edges. But here you can choose where you want it to be darker. Awesome tip, okay? Now, yeah, that's, you know, basically my tips. And as you might have seen, I've already assumed that you've already done all your HSL slider and all you've already done your look. But if you want to know more how to do looks, I have a video on that up here. But this video, I was just going through 5 things that I usually or always keep in mind when I'm doing a watch photography. So that's it for me today. I think I've gone through everything. Yeah, I really think I've gone through everything. You can watch it again if you didn't get it. It's not so hard. It's basically, you know, brushes and defringing and keeping that clean. And yeah, that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments down below. I'll promise that I will do my very best to answer. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace. Woo. All right. Hey, yeah, soon I'm moving. And so this won't be the backdrop anymore. Let's see what I can do at my new home. It's gonna be interesting.